CAD 911, please state the nature of your emergency.
Hey Larry, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Mike. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, so I really appreciate that you wanted to collaborate on CAD 911 because of your
Yeah.
experience. I wanted to say thank you. And starting right off, we did a video with the automatic dimensions in Chief, and you've fixed that. So now we're doing another video. So if you wanted to say anything, and then we can jump on it, and this will be our home where when we have problems, we'll get on here and we'll try to work them out, and hopefully people will put comments or send emails, and we can build a community of people who want to get solutions to some of their CAD problems.
Okay. Yeah. This is let me just say this is basically my website. Okay, and I do custom homes as well as I sell pre-designed plans with publishers. Okay, been doing that since the '70s, and but anyway, I've been in business 50 years, so long time. But and I'll show you the last house I built. That's it right there. That's the last house that I built. And it was in Germantown, Tennessee, is where it was built. And
Wow.
anyway, had some great clients, but it's been a long time. I was kind of a design build company, and I built a lot of big homes, 12, 14,000 square foot homes. But my main business, I started out in Houston in 74 down there, and building and designing. But I really got my start from my dad. And he was a home builder. My uncles were home builders. So I grew up in the business, and I think it helped me in the long run in my building career and design career. So anyway, that's kind of a real short, brief introduction. But
What I like is
the main thing I'm wanting to do is help with this 911 is open up a forum that we could have other people chime in, because I'll be honest, I'm still new to Chief, and I'm still learning myself. So, but I've been mainly with AutoCAD, okay? And then I started with SketchUp. And I love SketchUp because you can just do so much with it. But I like Chief for the being able to design, and the layout features of Chief is great, okay? And it's a great program. But I have a certain way of dimensioning, and this is what I want to talk about. That first video was about how Chief does the automatic dimensions and how I would like the automatic dimensions to work. And so I kept messing with it, because this is how I want my plans to be reflected with dimensions. I'll just start here at the bottom because that's the windows. I like all the dimensions to be a running dimension on a string to itself. And now, Mike, you chime in, okay? Because you're a framer, so you know what I'm talking about here. When the framer's laying out windows, he's just going on the same string right here. He's pulling his tape and marking, and then the next string here is T-walls, and you notice that it's from outside wall to T-wall, and from T-wall to T-wall, and outside wall to T-wall. So that is an easier way to lay out a house from dimensioning. And then you have the next string is your offsets, and that's basically any room popping out is an offset. So then you have your overall dimension from frame to frame. That's what this is right here, okay? And then I like to have a dimension over the brick, because if you have brick, it's a 5.5. Most of my builders use a 5.5-inch brick ledge. Okay, I just take a 2x6 and turn it flatways on their forms, and that recesses it down. And the problem sometimes with Chief, and I noticed it on a video that Mike just recently sent me, that you have in your, if you click on a wall, a definition, and you go into your wall definition, and this is a brick wall, and you go to the definition and you start looking down here at the wall properties. I have 5.5-inch depth. Okay. Well, it's 5.5-inch in width, like up here. The extension is 5.5 in width, but it's only 1.5 inches in depth. So a 2x6 turned flat is 1.5 inches. So I think Chief really needs to have one more dialog box right here that is the depth is one thing, and the width of the brick ledge is another dimension, because it's not 5.5 inches here and 5.5 inches up there. So you want to chime in, Mike?
Yeah, so like in Tennessee, where they put the brick down below grade, I could see that would be an awesome thing to have but they don't use slabs hardly. They use CMU on footings. But same thing though. You could go down so many inches vertically and then still go in. And I think they did 5 inches in Tennessee, or 5, or I can't remember. But I know their airspace.
Yeah, in Tennessee is 5. That most of the guys use 5 inches there.
Yep.
But in Texas and in Arizona and out in that area, it's 5.5 inches.
Yep.
So different parts of the country uses different widths.
So
okay?
can you walk us through how you dimension? Are you able
one thing I would like to talk about too when we're talking about this is because a lot of builders, put stucco on the outside walls, and the stucco, by the time you do your 1/2-inch sheeting, and then they put their foam board on there and their lath, and then they put their scratch coat on there, you're sticking out about 1.5 inches off of the slab. And a lot of builders do not like that. The big quality builders, the custom builders, they really don't like that. And they like to have a ledge, just like we call a masonry ledge or brick ledge, and they make it 1.5 inches. They just take a 2-inch, 1.5 by 1.5, 2 by 2, and they put that on their form, and that recesses that into the slab. And so when they get through with the finished application, it's flush with the concrete. It's not hanging out. And the same way with if you're using thin set stone.
Yeah, cultured stone. Yeah.
Cultured stone, yeah. Usually that, if you go by and the manufacturer's recommendation, that's actually winds up being 3.5 inches out. So you have a 3.5-inch masonry ledge if you're using that, because otherwise that stone is hanging off of the slab, and you just don't want that. It looks awkward when you do that.
Yeah, it looks
and
unnatural.
I'll show you over here. I have, let me find it here. Well, it's not turned on. Anyway, I have on these other plans, I had this ledge, and I had a 3.5-inch ledge, and I had an 1.5 inch ledge. But you can see on this plan here, if you look at the dimension 32.1, that's overframe to overframe, and then you look, you've got the 5.5-inch here, and over on this side you had the 1.5 inches, and it should be 7 inches.
So
or 8 inches.
The people that are watching right now, they see the finished product. Can you walk us through how you've set up the automatic dimensioning to do this?
Yeah, let me just kill all of these dimensions, okay? And we'll go down to automatic dimension and kill those. And so now this dimension here, it did not kill it because that's a manual dimension. I had to put that dimension in there manually. But so
well, while you're at that, let me ask you,
go ahead.
If you were on the foundation level, then that dimension would be automatic because it would read to the outside of concrete, right? But if you're on the first floor, main floor, or above the foundation, it doesn't read to the outside of concrete?
Okay, there's the foundation, okay?
Okay.
So if I were to go and hit the automatic, okay?
Yep.
So there's the correct dimension. See, 32.8, 5.5 inch here, and I got 1.5 inches here. Okay. So it's going over the brick and it's going over the stucco ledge. Okay.
Which is what you want as a foundation guy. You want those dimensions.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Yeah, so like if you're the foundation guy, you need those dimensions to know what your maximum concrete span is.
Yeah, and the other thing, you need to have this dimension because the concrete man, if you don't have a dimension telling how wide the brick ledge is, he's got to go hunt it somewhere on the plans. And if you go to the floor plan, it's not showing up on the floor plan in Chief because they really don't have that. On my plan, I had to go in and create that, okay? So that's one of the problems I see with this, okay? Because if you go, let me go to my working, see this brick ledge right here on my floor plan, I had to create that, okay? Because it's not showing up on the working plan view. It shows up, brick ledge shows up on the foundation, but it does not show up on the working. At least I haven't been able to get it to show up. Now, guys, like I said, I'm still new, okay, to Chief. So some of you pros out there, maybe y'all know how to do that. So I just haven't been able to figure it out.
The wall type is brick, and you didn't draw that hatched brick line.
Yeah,
you're just saying
I
that
double clicked on it, and you see it is a brick wall.
So Chief's drawing it. You're just not able to
show up.
You're just not able to auto dimension to it.
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Does it dimension?
I want to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm trying to do is to go in here, and I have a dim one dimension, and I like all my dimensions to be on a layer to themselves. Okay, just like I've got right here. Okay, so I go with dim one, and I hit auto, and it's going to put that overall dimension, and it puts it over the frame right there. Okay, that's what it's doing all the way around the plane.
Okay,
and so that's the first thing that I want to know is the overall of my footprint that I've created, because that way I know it's in the building lines, and that's the overall, depending on your site, okay?
Yeah.
What your maximum footprint can be. And setbacks. Then I just move down to the next one, and that's my offsets, okay? And I have it turning those layers off automatically.
The previous
because layers. I like to concentrate on one thing at a time when I'm dimensioning. And so I put that, click auto, and it puts that string right there on room offsets, okay, all the way around. So that's the next thing that I do.
Okay.
And then I go down and I click on my T-walls, and I hit RO, and it puts my dimensions of my T-walls all the way around the plane, okay? Now, there is a workaround you have to do, because when you go to put your windows and doors in, okay, so I've turned everything off, the way Chief has it set up, in their dialog box, you have an inner and outer
Can you show that?
dimension. Let me go to here and show you.
Okay.
You see these two lines? You have when you go to auto to do your setup, I have it clicked, inner and outer dimension, and so when you hover over that, it's highlighting that over here. So that's your two dimensions.
Oh, it makes it go red. Okay, I see that.
That it's doing. So automatically, Chief can do, if you just hit the auto button and not change up what I've done, it's going to put those three lines all the way around your plan automatically. Okay. And the problem with that is when you get down to your windows and your T-walls, it starts putting like 3 feet here, and it'll put 2 feet here and another 4 feet or whatever. It's all mixed up between windows and T-walls. And that causes the framer to have to add some of these dimensions up in his head because it's not an easy dimension string. Okay.
Yep.
And so I've had to go in and change that. Okay. So what happens when I pick my windows and doors and then I go and hit auto, it's going to put the windows and it's going to put the T-walls at the same time. It's going to put those last two dimension lines, which when you do that, you see it puts that window. See how the window here, you've got your windows, you've got your offset. But what I want to do is this dimension here is on windows and doors, just like this dimension is. And I don't want that dimension on that. So I basically have to go in here and I click on that dimension all the way around, the 4 clicks around the plan, and I delete it, okay? Because I do not want that dimension because I already have the T-walls
on their own layer
in the plan on a layer to their self.
Yep.
And so all I do is hit this one where it's all on, and there is all of my dimensions. And you'll notice that that one is on windows, that one is on T-walls, that one is on offsets, that one is your overall frame. So that makes it real easy to string those dimensions. It's going from window to wall, to center line of window, to center line of window here. And your T-walls are all on this line. So it's easy for the framer to pull his tape.
Yep.
And Mike, you can chime in there. You're framed.
Well, yeah, and I'm just looking at it as you've got everything you need, and now it's just a matter of doing a little bit of cleanup. You know, like you've got 3 5'8" offset there, so you can dump 2 of those.
Yeah. You've got to erase these because, I mean, Chief is going to just keep putting the same dimension on there.
Yep.
But it's easier just to click erase than it is to click that little button or little handle there and drag dimensions off, you know, like you have to do cleanup. I don't like the cleanup. I want things automatic and it's set in its place. Okay.
Yep.
So that's what I was trying to explain on the previous video, but I just didn't have it all working properly on that. And I apologize for that because I thought I had it working and then all of a sudden it wasn't working because I kept messing around with it. And so I've got this one working and this is the way it stayed. Okay.
That's awesome.
Until we can get Chief to come in and what we really need is here, we need to have the ability to have more lines, more dimension lines, more control. And if you notice, if you go to the auto elevation, let's see, I think it's the auto elevation, let's see, which one is it, Mike?
Yeah,
do you remember?
It's auto elevation. You're able to, it's that one.
That one right here?
No, maybe it's locate. I think it's locate elevations.
Maybe that's it. Yeah, there we go. It's locate elevations. If you notice, they have a vertical string of dimensions, and you can have it pick any kind of point that you have in this box right here. Okay. You can drag any of these over here. You can drag them off. So you can customize this story pole any way you want to. And Chief, if you're listening, this is what we need on the floor plan dimension dialog box. We need something similar to this that we can put as many dimension lines, references that we want, and the user has control of it just like the user has control of this. And the points are there, just like these points are in the database. Those points on the floor plan and foundation plan are in the database.
Yep.
You know, we would love to have dimensions on the foundation plan that locates all the plumbing fixtures, but the plumbing fixtures needs to be on a layer to theirself, not on a fixture layer.
Yep.
Because you need to have a ghost plan of the floor plan showing up on the foundation plan. And again, that's something else we need to turn a layer on to have. But then you can dimension from the outside of slab to the primary wall that the plumbing fixture is butting to make sure you get all your vent pipes in the walls and all of the fixtures are located. That means lavs, sinks, any plumbing fixture or water line needs to be located on the foundation plane.
Yep. Yeah, because you're working with slabs, so that's a must for slabs.
Yeah,
I'm in a crawl space world.
That's a must.
Yeah.
You know, because it's hard. It's costly to bust a slab up to move plumbing.
Yep.
And Chief has electrical on a layer to itself, and electrical is the easiest thing in the world to move and change. So why do we have that on a separate layer, and we do not have plumbing fixtures, which is the most critical part of a house and a slab foundation? Now, it's not as critical on a crawl space or a basement or, but when you're pouring a concrete, you better make sure that plumbing is in those walls. And that's why I like to put a ghost plan on my slab, and I dimension to that wall, and I dimension to the center. I give two dimensions. I give dimension to the back of the wall that the fixture's on. Let's just say it's a commode, okay? Water closet. So anyway, I dimension to that back wall, and then I give another dimension coming from a different direction to the center line. So I go from center line of lab to center line of the toilet to the center line of the tub. And that's all there. And then I actually show my location of my vent stacks on my plans. So everything's there for the plumber to get it right.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Anyway, so that's kind of my little spiel.
Well, I think you nailed it, because I'm looking at the clock, and normally you and I get talking and it could be an hour. So this is actually really good.
I know it. I'm trying to cut short. Okay. So guys, this is very informal. We want your feedback on this. Like I told Mike earlier, you can ask 50 different designers what their workflow, how they do their designs, and you're going to have 50 different ways to do it. I'm just showing you my way, and I've been doing this for right at 50 years, doing it with these dimensions like this, and trying to get, of course, like I said, I was in AutoCAD, and in AutoCAD I could put all those dimensions there and have it on a layer. And the same way in SketchUp, you can have it on a layer. You can have your plumbing fixtures on the layer, give center lines. So, I just think it would make Chief that much better product if we could have more control over the dimensions and more control over the plumbing and have a layer to itself. And Mike and I are trying to work on the help Chief with the roof problem that we pointed out in an earlier video. And hopefully they're going to get that corrected too.
Yeah, so I want everybody to know.
That's all I got to say, Mike. You can take over.
I like Chief. I find it amazing on some of the things it can do. And all I want is extreme accuracy. And so when we saw that the roof wasn't quite being done correctly, we reached out to Nigel, and he's working that angle, because I love how I can get a plan to permit really quick. That's to me how I make my money. I don't do 3D renderings. I don't do marketing like pictures and stuff. Usually builders have already got a client and they just need the plans for permit. But I think this is an awesome idea here on and the reasoning why you do it. Because I look at the dimensions right there, and if I had to pop out a slab, those are the numbers I need. I hate having to come to a certain spot and then hold my tape on that spot and go to the next spot. I like to just pull the full length. So anyways, let's wrap this one up, and then we've got tons of ideas, and we've been on the phone a lot, so we're going to make lots of videos. And I really want people who are watching this to think about the software you use, because Larry's really good in SketchUp and AutoCAD and Chief. So am I. And then I'm not as good as SketchUp. I just started, but it's amazing. And we're going to bring on guests. We've got Larry knows some guys that are masters in SketchUp and other software. And hold on just a moment. What's with the... Psst? My wife is in the other room. She's just giving me... She's helping me to overcome my stage fright, I guess. I don't know. But anyways... I want people to, in the comments, or if you want to email any of your questions, or if you have a problem, because that's why we just started CAD 911, because we want to, if you give us your problem, I can't guarantee we'll fix it, but we'll at least try. And along the way, we're going to learn things together. And so that's how, that's where I'm coming from. If I can help you, because I'm going to learn something, and I love learning. So it's been fun, Larry.
Okay, buddy.
All right, we'll do this again.